And 3, 2, 1, and we are live. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time this finds you. I'm Chris Trammell. I am the creator, developer, and head coach of the Author Launchpad. I cannot thank you enough for being here today. This is day 2 of the Author Launchpad, how to market and monetize your book expertise in 2024. It is an honor, it is a pleasure, and I'm grateful to be able to serve you, to get your expertise out in the world, to help you package that genius that you have, to be able to market that expertise that you have, and most importantly, how to monetize it, right? Like, you created it for a reason. You created it because you have a passion. You created it because you've been an expert professional. You created it because you wanted your own platform. You wanted to create legacy in your life. And this was a way that you did it. You said, I'm going to write a book. I see everybody else writing a book. I could write a book. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what you did. You've got a book now, and you might be asking the question, now what? Now what do I do? Well, I'm that guy, and I can't thank you enough for meeting me, finding me, and allowing me to guide you on what to do after you've published your book. It's not hard, but it does take work. And really, what it takes the most is you. Honest, truthfully, my job is to unleash you. My job is to have you be so audacious, so clear about who you are, what your process is, what your passion is. Why do you want to make this difference? And if you made the difference that brought in the revenue, brought in the profits, allowed you to just be, what kind of philanthropist would you be? Where would you take your time, your knowledge, your expertise, that 10% extra? And where would you take it to? What would you donate to? How would you share that expertise? See, that's what I'm out to create. I'm here to create the difference makers in the world. I'm here to take those nonfiction authors that said, I want to write a professional development book. I want to take a leadership book. I want to write a self-development book. I want to write something from my journey, my expertise, my experiences, my education, bring it all together in such a way that it moves people, it inspires people, it causes them to want to take an action. But a book in and of itself does not cause that. It might inspire people. It might have us all highlight in the pages, and it might have us write notes in the margins. You should look at my books. They look like someone who's just written all through them. But that's just part of it, right? So I want to pause for a second because I get excited. I go right out of the gate. So what I'm going to do right now is the same thing that I show for all of my clients. One is I always have a second device that's making sure that my stream is going well. So I'm in Chris Trammell Coaching right now, and I'm going to show you exactly what I like for you to do when you're streaming. If you're not using StreamYard, Restream, or one of those other platforms that streams into a number of different locations at once, that's a little bit more advanced. If you're just starting off, Zoom right into your Facebook group. Use Zoom. Have a Zoom group. Just get live. So here we go. Watch this. I'm going to check. And let's see. There he is right now. Is he talking? What I'm going to do right now. So he's talking. Great. Check 1. I'm going to put him on mute. I'm going to like my own stuff. Always like your own stuff. It is absolutely appropriate for you to like your own stuff. Yes, like it. It's you. It's what you do in the world. Thumbs up it. Give it a big heart. Okay, next part. I'm going to go ahead and copy the link. And now I'm going to put it into some of the other locations where I want to be streaming into. And one of those other locations is the Author Launchpad. And that is the group that I'm using to start to create a larger audience where I could serve better all the nonfiction authors that are published, about to publish, in the journey of, that are looking, where's somewhere where I could learn what I need to learn about publishing, the process of writing my book, because I'm going to talk about Tim Jacobs, who was on yesterday, but I'm going to go into here right now where it says write something. I'm just going to go ahead and, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to put Lisa Carroll's photo in there and then hit done. And now I'm going to also paste my link and hit post. And that way, because Lisa Carroll is our guest today, and that way the bots do some of that work for us, right? The same way you create events. Part of my coaching is to model for you real time. Why does that matter to me? Well, it matters to me because, sorry, I'm just checking one more thing to do right now. It matters to me because I was a track and field coach for about 20 years, and coaching occurs real time. It doesn't occur once you've left the field. That's not coaching, that's reflection. Coaching occurs real time. The body of improvement happens instantaneously, right? Like when we're moving at fast speeds, it's the ability to tell somebody, do this, do that, do this, do that. That's elevating performance. I am a performance coach. I am a high performance coach for authors, speakers, and experts that have it here, looking to create it and connect it here so they could deliver it to the world. That's what I do exceptionally well. It's just my gift and my talent, but it didn't come without work. So let me just give you a little bit about myself, who I am, why the Author Launchpad, why how to market and monetize your book in 2024 matters so much to me. Let's just I'll try and do this in like 1 minute. So here we go. First things first. This week, if you do not have it already, I invite you to make sure that you download and you have your workshop workbook. Now, why do I create a workshop workbook? One of the things about me is that I was a curriculum writer at the Los Angeles Zoo High School for 15 years. I wrote programs. I would read smart science books and then break them down, make them engaging, make them exciting, and then deliver it. And I did that for 15 years. I learned from some of the best on how to do that. So I could take your book and be able to read it and then turn it into whatever it is we need to turn it into. So you could have a course, an online signature group coaching program. That's the creme de la creme. That's where everybody heads towards. That's what we're going to make sure you got. A workshop, a master class, like whatever it is that you need to have, I'm going to make sure that over time we create it. But it always starts with a workshop. So make sure that you have your workshop listed and down. I just heard my little Zoom ding right now. Oh, very good. So that's perfect. Hopefully, Lisa, you're watching this. I'm going to send a message to Lisa and tell her I see you, and I'll let you in just a moment. I see you, comma, let you in just a moment. I want to make sure that when Lisa Carroll, our special guest, comes in today, she's got all my attention. I am going to roll out a red carpet for her because I'm telling you, if you're an author, you're a speaker, you're an expert, and you're trying to figure out, what do I do with my book? How do I do it next? We're going to dive into that today with Lisa Carroll. All right, so next part, who's showing up this week? That is the other thing that you'll get to see. And again, if this is your first time joining me, let me just tell you who is showing up this week. I've got it right here for you quickly. If you haven't seen who the guests are this week, I've got some outstanding guests coming on this week. And why do I have them coming on? Because I want them to support you in your journey wherever you're at. I've got the best colleague coaches working with me to make sure that you are able to get your work out to the world. That's what matters to me, that you have your podium moment in your life, whatever that's going to look like, that you've got your light shining bright, lighting other people's lights so they can make a difference in communities, families, industries, organizations. Like, that's who you are. That's why you write a book. Okay? That's why I believe you write a book. Sorry, I got a little excited. So in any case, why do I have these guests? Today, like I said, we got Lisa Carroll. She's a Kajabi business and design specialist and coach. Tomorrow, I've got Wednesday, I've got Rafi Andonian. He's outstanding. He's the national celebrity hero, celebrity historian. Not a hero yet. 3 times author. We also have on Thursday, if anybody watched the Ted Lasso series, well, step into someone's shoes and write from their point of view. And that's exactly what Marnie Stockman and Nick Coniglio have done. And their book, Lead It Like Lasso. And then on Friday, we got Dr. Melvin Allen, an author, relationship coach, Myers-Briggs specialist, really creating intimate groups for how you can monetize intimate group settings from your knowledge and expertise. And then on Saturday, we have a force to be reckoned with, and that's Dr. Jody Baer. She's going to be talking about Healthopedia. So those are our guests that we have. Like I said, today is Lisa Carroll. So let me just flip through this real quick to show you who we got and why me. The last part. Like I said, you want to join us on Thursday. Here's the book right here, Lead It Like Lasso, a leadership book for your life. Your life. I think it's for life, your life. So I invite you to be here Thursday. 21 Days to the Best You. This is by Dr. Jody Baer. She used to coach collegiate programs on performance, health, nutrition. You want to be here on Saturday to hear how she's now created her next iteration out to the world, and that's Healthopedia, where she has a number of different authors who've contributed to their knowledge, their expertise, to the Healthopedia guide. And I get to be the one that's going to help them all create their signature group coaching programs, their online courses, their workshops, their master classes. I am thrilled to be able to do that. Some of my clients that I've had, one of my favorites, he's one of my besties, John Bates. This is Itty Bitty Book. He's a TED Talk coach, outstanding leadership executive coach as well. Another coach, Jeff Cohen, with the Count Honorable book. He works with acupuncturists, health and wellness practitioners. How do you create teams that are going to take you into the future? Another coach, Lori Bruton, Live the Life You Were Born to Live with the Lori Factor. So again, the opportunity to go from book to wall to world. Why wall? That's where we get published. That's where everybody wants to end up. But it's taking it out to the world. Who are some of my influences? This is the last part I want to share with you, and then I'll have Lisa come on in. My number one influence is, I would say, in the methodology that I use, is Kelly Roach with the Live Launch Method. She's also in her launch right now. I would look for her, kellyroach.com, or on LinkedIn. She's awesome. Highly recommend Kelly's programs. And if you're thinking about her, reach out to me. I'll be happy to share some of the connections I got for that. Marketing. This book reorganized how I'm going to market in 2024. The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. Really like phenomenal. If you want to get authenticity, Grant reads his own audiobook. So for some of you authors, I know you know how to read and that you are very articulate. Read your own book. It's okay. Read your own book, because when he reads it, he's just being Grant. And he emphasizes what there is to emphasize, and the passion comes through. So I highly recommend the 10X book if you're looking for some marketing points. The other thing, everybody's like, what's the secret? What's the secret sauce? What's the secret? Well, there are some great processes here inside of Russell Brunson's Expert Secrets, okay? Great processes and methods, but here's the secret sauce. Are you ready for the secret sauce? It's you. You're the secret sauce. You're the number one ingredient to your stew called the secret sauce. It's you. And we're going to talk about that all this week, all the different ways that we're going to unfold and manifest you. Last 2 books, High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard. I am absolutely a student, a coachee of Brendan Burchard. I recommend him, right? Here's part of my goal inside of having these workshops is that you move from author writer to author difference maker, to author coach, to author implementer. Because like I said, this is a great book, but in and of itself, on its own, it remains closed. It doesn't open up and start talking to me. It doesn't say, Chris, turn to page 55 and take these actions. And if you do these actions, they will transform your life. A book doesn't do that, but you can cause people to do that by using your book as that guidepost, as that framework, as that blueprint, right? And when you have people take those actions out in their lives, their whole world changes. That whole Pathway to Bliss idea by Joseph Campbell. I've been reading Joseph Campbell since I was in high school, since I was a freshman in high school. Everybody wants a podium moment. Everybody wants to return with their knowledge and give it to people. It's the return of the king, Lord of the Rings. It's the hero's journey, the heroine journey. What is your pathway to bliss? How are we going to create that for you? And then you get to finally put it all together, which I say is living your life's work. And this is where I'm going to be using all of my strategies on myself to show you you can absolutely do it and turn that into your own book. Now, that's my advanced reader copy, and you'll see my full book coming out this year in 2024. So I'm now going to spotlight me for a second, because I have got the fantastic Lisa Carroll joining us now. I wanted to make sure that you got the intention of this masterclass and workshop series. Why masterclass? Because there's information that I want you to know. There's information that my guests want you to know. That's the masterclass part of it. Now, why the workshop? Because we're going to give you some tangible actions to put into place today, all week long. And, you know, to be able to do those things together is exactly why I created this. So if you're in your workbook right now, as I'm about to bring Lisa Carroll on, I want you to go to that page. Let me find it. Okay, here we go, because I want her to see she has got her own page as well. So day 2, session 2, this is where we're going to talk about launching your expertise online. And right there in your workbook, the special guest, Lisa Carroll. So before I completely bring her on, let's go ahead and introduce the outstanding, amazing, I'm so lucky to have her. You guys are going to see why right now. Lisa Carroll, she is a former health and wellness coach who has seamlessly, like so smoothly, transitioned into being a Kajabi business design specialist. She has, I'm sorry, I got lost there. She's taken a really fun turn with her passion for Kajabi and been able to take that coaching, everything that she's learned, and turned it into a profitable business for herself. She's recognized for her expertise. She's sought after for being that business expert for Kajabi communities, Kajabi layouts, Kajabi websites, and memberships. And she's really committed to her excellence to excel in the Kajabi programs, solidifying her as that go-to expert. And today she's here to share the wealth of knowledge, how to craft stunning professional Kajabi websites, memberships, and really have them working for you. So you don't have to keep showing up and doing all that work, because I'll tell you this week, it has been a lot to continue to keep up. So I know that I get excited. And when I get excited, I forget to say all the things that I'm supposed to. So Lisa Carroll, will you please come on in and fill in some of the spaces that my excited stammering and tongue twisting got myself in trouble for. Lisa Carroll, welcome.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to talking about memberships today. So excited to be here, and pleased that you invited me to come on for your awesome group. So looking forward to just jumping in and chatting.
Yeah. And Lisa, let's start with some small talk first. Where are you coming in from, and what's the weather like? Because here in Long Beach, it's warm, it's not raining, but I know there's parts of the country where there's snow up to their ears,
Yep.
and people are. So where are you at, and how's the weather?
Well, it's better here in Alabama. It is cold. It's 55 today. It has been like 18 degrees though, which is quite cool for us. So I have my little fire going in the background to stay warm by today. But yeah, it's great. It's really good outside today.
Outstanding, outstanding, Lisa. And really, I know we almost connected last time, and now I'm so excited that I get to have you here today. I'm just grateful for your time and your expertise because you're going to share some of the like highlights and some of the actions that people pay you good money for, and you're going to bring it to this group today. So I'm really grateful for that. Let's just give people some of the highlights again. If you are in your workbook, either real time, it's going to say, what are some of the ahas that you got from Lisa's talks and highlights? She's going to be talking about the transformative power of memberships so you can create predictable revenue. There's one. Two, she's going to talk about how to provide those insights for authors and experts to turn their books and their expertise topics into sustainable income streams. And three, why you should have a membership. What are the benefits of predictable revenue, a group of trustworthy, loving fans, and how it adds to your business stability. So did I touch on our big three just right, Lisa?
I think so, Chris. I'm going to need you to help keep me on track for what you want to know.
All right. Well, I know I had to write things down, and your speaker response was extraordinary. It was one of the cleanest ones that I've ever gotten. And it really showed me, and this is where we're going to dive into first, is process. Like you're like, Chris, we're going to do this, and then we'll talk about this, and then we're going to make sure we hit this. And I see that you and I being with our mentor, Catherine Dove, who's just drilled process into us because process equals profits, that it's just part of who we are now. It's what we look for. So let's start with process. Your thoughts on process as it first relates to profits, and if you like to jump into as it relates to memberships or Kajabi, wherever it goes next.
Okay. Well, let me share a little bit of kind of a little bit how I got started. As Chris said, I was a health and wellness coach, still am, I still have that business, but I very quickly just fell in love with the benefits and all the things that you could do on this all-in-one platform. And, you know, I know as business owners and even authors, right, there's so much to do. There's so much that we have to keep up with. And if we can have everything all under one roof, it just, to me, makes it so much more simplified. And so that's what I did. I kind of jumped in, and I love connecting with other people. I love collaboration and co-creation. And I think it's really, you know, kind of what makes the world go around, right? We each have something that we want to bring. And for your audience, Chris, I think, you know, oh gosh, did I ever mention that I owned a bookstore at one point? So
What? No, Lisa, you never told me that.
I
Come
did.
on.
And but during that, you know, I mean, there was so much more than just selling books, but I love a good book. And what I really enjoy is, you know, how a lot of times you'll have like book clubs and things like that, right?
Yeah,
Well, I think what we're really looking for is that connective piece, right? So I think when you can, as an author, take your book and turn it into so much more and make it come to life, right? So for me, you know, it's like I was looking for ways to connect and to collaborate with people because those are our customer base, right? And so there's too much functionality, I think, in the world today in terms of, you know, oh, I mean, I love the online space. Everything is online, but
right.
still people first, right? And we still need
Yes.
connecting point, and we need other people to help us get where we're going to go. And so I love what you're doing in helping authors like really bring their books to life online, to bring their businesses to life so that they're not having to depend just on book sales, to really generate revenue. And so this is one of the things that I very quickly, as a business owner, began to realize. I left my corporate job of 20 plus years and just launched into the online space, and I love it. But very, very quickly, I found that I missed the predictability of a steady, right? So do you think that any of your authors, might be in that place as they're getting started? So, we all have to have a traffic source coming in. And what I have found is my connections and the collaborations and really building genuine relationships. That is what drives the business my way. And it can do that for you and for your audience as well. So I love the membership model because it does several very, very important things. Number one, it can add predictable, sustainable, monthly recurring revenue to your business every single month. I think this is one of the real major keys that no matter what type of business that we're in, if we're an author, we've published a book, now we want to bring that thing to life in as many ways as possible, right?
Yes.
If you develop a membership, then the next thing that you're really creating is raving fans who know, like, and trust you. And then what my experience has been is anything else I roll out doesn't even have to be in the membership. Anything else that I roll out, they want to buy that too. They want to be involved in whatever else we're doing, whatever else we're bringing to life. And then the third thing that a membership can do is it brings business stability, and it allows you to focus and to deliver some exceptional client results inside that membership, inside everything that you're doing. So does that help to kind of clarify a little bit about what you're going to get if you decide to roll out a membership?
Lisa, if I'm not looking at you, and many people who work with me know that I take notes while we're talking. I'm going to create a highlight sheet out of this. I wrote as fast as I did in some of my graduate programs right now to keep up, right? Like, I drop vowels, I'm shorthanding things. That was exceptional. Have a traffic source, build genuine relationships, create a membership. And Lisa, here's a secret. One night I was like, you know what if book clubs also had like a process to them? What if people could create their own book clubs? And you just spoke of book club as a membership. It's really rebranded as membership. Now, sometimes they're wine clubs, which I know my wife belongs to a wine club disguised as a book club. But for authors who are actively maintaining it, I hear that they could create these book club memberships.
You could. You could actually even create a book club inside your membership. So let me touch on a little bit about kind of what a membership, really is. I think that there's a lot of, I wouldn't say confusion, but maybe just a little clarification needed
Yeah.
for the difference between a community and a membership. So,
Yes.
and also between a course and a membership, because I find a lot of people are like, well, should I create a course or should I create a membership? Or should I create a course and a membership? And what the heck is the difference, So let me touch on a couple of those areas too, because I think that one of the things is that your membership, where a course is basically about information. Now, you could take your book and you could absolutely turn it into a course where you walk people through what you're teaching in that book. It doesn't really matter what type of book it is. You could still, I guarantee you, if you've written a book, you had lots and lots and lots of pages that you never even got to use. You had to extract to bring that down into a certain format. And so you probably already have tons of information that you could share. And then I would dare say, when you start sharing from your heart, there's a whole lot more that's gonna really come to touch the lives of the people that you are destined to touch, right? That you're to bring that message to, whatever that is. And so a course provides information, and but a membership helps with implementation. So what I've found, my most favorite books, I guess, to read are kind of like the self-help books with a personal twist. I want to hear somebody's story. I want to know, why'd you write this book? And what am I supposed to get out of it? And then it's like, how can you help me to implement, because you've done something. If you have written a book, you have a message to share, and that came from somewhere. And so, really helping me to implement that through a membership. And so you might show up in that membership, once or twice a month. You might show up once a week, right? You might have other guest experts coming into your membership. It doesn't just have to be you doing everything. We need about 4 touch points per month in a membership. Now, that could be 2 live calls, 4 live calls, 1 live call. Could be a checklist, a cheat sheet. It could be a pre-recorded master class. The sky's the limit. It could be, I'm going to give you a place to connect with other people who are interested in this topic, and to come and have that book club right inside the member portal. Now, your member portal is where all of your content is going to be housed. And then a community, it's lovely to add that on, a place for people to actually connect and come together, so that they can receive from you as the author and the membership site owner, and also to connect with one another. And yeah, so do you see the progression? It's kind of like, yeah, you could build a course if you wanted to, and detail out all the things plus all those extra pages you didn't get to put in your book, and walk the people through your process. You could create a membership where that membership is helping them to walk out those things. And so maybe you have like a little core content from your book in your membership. Inside a membership, what I love is what they really want is you. They want you. They want more time with you. They want expertise from you. You can give them a copy of your ebook inside of there. You could go through the book and highlight different things. There's so many ways that you can generate revenue by just simply doing what you do, using what you already know, love, and do, whatever you're already doing, to create that wonderful membership portal where everybody comes together, and then create a community right alongside of it, whether that be in a Facebook group. I think we're streaming in a Facebook group now.
That's right. We're into 2 right now.
Yeah. So whether you're in a Facebook group or a Kajabi community, there are many options to that. And so I find that the holy grail of it all is a membership with a community, so you get the best of both worlds.
Lisa, that was like right there, masterclass topic. So I'm going to add an element to us today. There's a new author that I met, and he is also an NHL. He used to play hockey, and he also does consulting. And I said, if you could stop by, Lee, go ahead and stop by, because Lisa's going to be on today. And we're going to ask him some questions about how he uses this, or if he's thought about using them. So can I bring him on for just a minute?
Yeah, please do.
Let's go ahead and let Lee Elias in. Once we got him in, I will go ahead and spotlight him as well. Let's see, Lee, once I see you, I will go ahead and bring you on, Lee. Cool. There we go. Watch, Lisa. I'm going to go ahead and add one more to the crew today. Fantastic. Lee Elias, it is a pleasure to get to meet you live in person. And thank you so much for joining. And Lee, I'd love for you to meet Lisa Carroll. She is just delivering a masterclass right now about creating communities, memberships, how she and I work together inside of this author journey. So let's give it to you for a second, Lee. Where are you coming in from? That's the first question I always ask. How's the weather? And then hold up your book after that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm coming to you live from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The weather today is beautiful. It has been freezing and snowing and very wintry here the last week, but now we're in that part of the year where the sun comes out, it reflects off the white snow, and it kind of looks beautiful outside.
Wow.
So I'll take that.
Yeah.
That is excellent.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate you bringing me on at all here, Ace. And I've got several books out. My most recent one is actually a children's book. I can hold that up. That we made a book called "When Hockey Stops" to help children through a time of adversity if they can't participate in athletics due to an injury or something else. And that was actually spawned from COVID when all the rinks shut down. We realized there was no guide for kids. So my
Wow.
co-author, who I host a podcast with, and I wrote this book. It's done incredibly well. It's been received really well by that audience too. And Lisa, I want to say hello to you. It's a pleasure to meet
Hi.
you.
Nice to meet
I'm
you
glad
as
to,
well.
yeah, it goes both ways. But so thank you for giving me any time, brother. I appreciate that.
Well, this is the beauty of this conversation. And thank you, Lee, because I'm kind of the life after publishing guy, and you've done really well as I dove into your ecosystem that you have your soccer locker room look behind you. What a great office to be in. What came first, your consulting and your coaching, then book, or you saw a book and then went to coaching and consulting? Because Lisa then helps authors to be able to, when we work together, say, okay, if there's going to be a community, what are we going to give to them? So let's go to you. What was that journey like for you?
Yeah, well, first off, thanks for complimenting the set. This is actually very real. It is a real set. It is not a fake background. Which again, people who come and watch my shows, they know that the jerseys tend to change from time to time. Most of them hockey jerseys right now. It was absolutely the book that came first. So my first book, which was called Think Like a Fan, was actually born from my master's thesis when I was in my master's at Drexel University. And I met a partner publisher who was a really great person and really believed in me. And she convinced me that my thesis could become a book.
Mm.
And from that book spawned business ideas. It's funny when I wrote it, I immediately started a business afterwards to kind of prove what I wrote to be true. And that book is all about speaking with your audience and not at your audience and how to build a community. And that business still exists today. It was a product business, and it's done very, very well. But I really found through that book and the other books that I've written since that I just love helping people, and I yearn to help people from a team building environment to, the understanding of culture is insanely important to succeeding in any workplace, right? So I have this really wonderful balance now of working with sports teams from professional teams down to youth teams, but also businesses from multiple verticals. But the book came first. That was my first step into that world. And I would say the other books after were born from the businesses. So it's a nice little ecosystem.
All right. So to Lisa, I want to hear how you would ask an author like Lee, from your expertise, from the things that you do, to see what he has or doesn't have that would help him grow his business.
Yeah. So have you ever thought about turning that into a course or a membership? Do you find that people need ongoing support for, whether it be your book, Think Like a Fan, or even the children's book? Do you find that they need extra support? Do you get questions?
I do. Yeah, that's actually a really great question. So one of the interesting parts of team building, or even community building, is no two teams or communities are the same,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what I started to do was realizing that I have to have a touch point with people to kind of know where they're at. I think when it comes to a course, I almost need to make something, and this has been a challenge, a choose your own adventure type course, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where and again, I preach this that I can put all the elements online in a master class, but the order in which you should do them is probably
Yes.
different for every single group, right? I would say I always start with trust. It doesn't matter what the organization is. Trust is always the foundational element. But do you need to work on communication, accountability? Do you need to work on, culture and present moment awareness? The direction you go from there can change a lot, right? So that's one of the challenges with maybe making a passive income type masterclass for me is just how do I allow someone to walk through it in the right order that's best for them. But yeah, I've thought about it many times. It's something I definitely want to do.
Yeah. A membership portal could actually do that.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And see, I didn't know that. That's awesome to know.
Because if you set it up in a way that it's conducive to this, you could set up multiple what we call success paths or your customer journey.
Right.
And you could actually do like let's see, how would I want to say it? Not really like a quiz, but like an assessment where
Mhm.
people, you could set it up online like it looks like a quiz and find out which, sector you belong in. You come up with something snazzy that's going to appeal to your audience, and then you just ask them questions, and it will help them to self-qualify where they are, and then you could direct them to the specific success path or customer journey that that person would be on. Everything could be housed in one portal so that it's easy for you to, to manage. I mean, I have a couple of memberships. My health coaching membership, it usually takes me about, I don't know, maybe 4 to 6, well, I'll say about 6 hours a
Right.
month, not a week, a month,
Right.
because it's so streamlined. Everything has a place. And for me on the back end, I think it's really important for as a business owner to be able to quickly get the information in, get it out to your people without it, taxing you. And again, we're just repurposing the content that we already have. And for you, that will be content you have in your books or any kind of master classes that you've done. Or if you just wanted to take a chapter and expound on it as a master class, I mean, you would have tons of information that you're not having to recreate really anything.
Right.
You might say, okay, could I create a little checklist about this to go in there? And then you could add that into the member portal. But I think the really important thing would be that self-qualification, whether it's the parents doing it for their children or if these are adults that are coming into it. You may have several memberships in you. You never know. And the membership is going to house it, and then you could show up live. I mean, how cool would that be? Like just to show up a couple of times a month and deliver something live, or to even pre-record a master class because it's you, right? And that's who they want. And then you have your process and everything exists within that member portal. And then you're directing them if this is you, and you could have cool names for each of those success paths.
The
Are you
Gretzky,
this or are you that?
the what was that? Lumiere. Who are some of the other great hockey players?
Oh, Lafleur was one. Gretzky. There's a lot.
Lafleur.
Yeah. There's a lot.
Huh? And so that something like that would appeal. And then like when you go to the malls, and you have ever been to an outdoor mall and the little marquee thing is there and it's like, you are here, but you want to go over here, right?
Right.
It tells you exactly how you're going to get there. And so you could design those success paths within your membership and have them right there. They could read them all. And then you have one path that helps them to travel through each of those areas as they advance. And then you could even have it like a cyclical thing, right? So that it continues like the seasons do.
Mm-hmm.
Because how many do you think of our people, no matter what niche we're really in, we're always growing, we're always advancing, hopefully, or we want to. And so it's kind of like you go through this process, right? But then you're at a new place and maybe the process starts over again. And now you're
Right.
self-qualifying again and you're going through it. So this works toward your retention of, keeping people in the membership. Doesn't have to be tons of content. They really just want you, your expertise, whatever you decide to bring them. And then as you bring like a founding member launch in, you're going to start with a base number of people and run that for just a little bit. And I like to build in like questions and suggestion boxes in there, because some of my best content comes from the questions and the suggestions of my members. They're like, hey, Lisa, do you have XYZ? No. Like, what format would you like that in? Would you like that in a video? Would you prefer it? I mean, so then now AI is on the scene, right? You can turn it into
Right.
1,000 different things.
Lisa,
with a touch of a button.
let me jump in right there.
Yeah.
This is what I love, and this is what I do well, Lee, is I turn on people's genius. And then you see it just streams out like a stream of consciousness. And she just gave you, and this was really good. I don't know if you've created membership yet, or if I know you consult, right? And you use the parts of your book. one of the things that I've learned is I say create your own signature group coaching program, similar to a membership, right? So you get membership, you got courses, and you came in at a perfect time because we were talking at this place, and you really get to contribute right now, Lee, to all the other authors that are watching going, I thought it was just book sales. I
Right.
knew I was going to use
That's
my
a small
business
part of
card,
it. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So tell us, let's go back to you for just a second, because I also saw about that children's book. I think that one is $1 million maker, but let's talk about how are you currently using which book the most right now?
Yeah, great questions. The book I actually use the most is called Win, what every team needs to know to create a championship culture. So that book was written after in my coaching career, I'd won a championship, and it really outlines kind of my philosophy on team building. And I've written that, well, actually almost 10 years ago, I wrote that. But that is the book that has kind of put me on the map in terms of culture building, and team performance. And that book serves as somewhat of a curriculum for groups that are trying to build that team culture. So that is the one that I focus on the most. The children's book has been great from a sense of, you know, any kid who's injured has a guide now, which they didn't have before. And obviously you don't ever want to see a child get injured, but it happens
Right.
in sports. But yeah, I've used that book Win as a building block for team success and team culture. And again, the work that comes from it's across the board, where the book is somewhat now a complement to the consulting that I do. So
Mm.
whether it's sports teams or business teams, that's kind of the thing that comes with it of additional resource based on the things that I do. And again, every team I work with is a little bit different, and I fortify all of the lessons with physical activities. Some of them, again, if it's a sports team, I get a little more aggressive with the activities than I do
Yeah,
if it's a business team. But I always get people up and moving and find an exercise that's going to make sense.
Chris, I
excellent.
see a signature program in that for sure, don't
Oh,
you?
I believe it. Yeah. No,
Oh, yeah.
listen again. The signature program, the masterclass idea. You know, and we create a tremendous amount of content out of my studio in my office here
Great
daily.
job.
So we have all the resources to do it, right? I think the key is, and you brought this up too, Chris, is you know, garnering memberships, garnering understanding, and then also too, there's this kind of connection point of, well, I work with the team, right? If I'm doing a signature series, I need to really be working with the managers or the upper executives so that they can then bring that to their team. And as you said earlier, Lisa, you know, the key there is making sure that they understand you don't need a tremendous amount of time to learn this, but it behooves you to learn this because it's going to bring the bottom line up. I mean, one of the nice parts of both business and sports, it's very easy to gauge the teams win, and they win a lot. I've been very blessed that a lot of the teams I work with win big. So
Wow.
I always have that to say, like, like I've always said this too. I bring the information, they have to choose to apply it.
That's
Right.
right.
It's never me, right? It's you're choosing to listen, you're choosing to buy in, and that's leading to results. So that plays out well. And again, sports, there's always a winner or a loser. So it's kind of easy to gauge, you know, you win a lot more than you lose, you're doing something right. And then business is obviously you know, bottom line is always what people want to look at. Now, the challenge I run into is there's not a metric I can give you on your team being cohesive equaling money, but it always ends up with the bottom line goes up right at the end of the year. It's just very tough to put up. Well, this exercise here is worth $50,000. It doesn't work that way, right? What I find, and I'll say this kind of, and I'll throw it back to you both, is that almost every team or every executive business owner knows that they need what I provide, but they don't know how to do it, right?
Mhm.
And that's the crux, right? And yeah, I'm sure that with a signature series we could get more, but it's about getting those memberships and making sure people buy into that.
Yeah. Yeah. And the beauty of that is that recurring revenue, not only
Absolutely. Yeah.
and the impact that you're getting out of it. Because I mean, most of the people that Chris and I work with, you know, are people who really care a lot about the impact that they're making in the lives of the people. And it's not just the money, but to be able to do what you do, then you need that recurring revenue
Right.
rolling in to be able to do more, give more, and be more, you know, be more
Yeah.
present, you know. So yeah, I think you've got like the makings of something huge,
Oh,
honestly.
thank you.
I really
Yeah,
do.
well, I'll tell you this too, and this is a cool stat that every time I do a speaking event or an event, it always leads to another event,
Mhm.
right? I mean, really, there's never been one I have done that has not led to another one.
Mhm.
So
So,
great.
yeah, how do you maximize that? I think that's what you're speaking to.
Yeah. And I think that's the collaboration that Chris and I were talking about earlier. And a lot of people, really build their businesses on that. I mean, it's not that you can't do ads and you can do other things, and maybe you get to the point where you really want to do that. But even that, really comes down to having that ongoing relationship with your clients, with those team members, with the managers, whoever it is that, you're bringing your genius to, is really connecting with them on whatever platform you're using it. And I
Right.
think you already know that. I mean, you're very personable. It's that people meet you, they like you, they trust you, they see the results. You have, the proof, right?
Mm.
I
And you
do.
want
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
So I think it's just I'm seeing more and more of a trend toward like just that realness,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
goes on, and maybe even doing like some behind the scenes stuff,
Yeah.
and I like your background, and it's real, it's not made up, it's real, and people get to see, the real you, and then that's where the connecting point
But
is.
and that's the key word. It's all about connection with me. I was on a call earlier today, where someone paid me an amazing compliment. They said that, they showed their wife some of the videos that we do, and she said to him, "It never met me, this person, like, well, he really connects with me." And
Wow.
I said that, that's a huge compliment
Yes.
because
Yeah. Yes.
yeah, I really strive for that. And look, this is one of those things. Anyone who knows me knows, like, all the content that I do, it's me. I mean, I'm not. It might be slightly amplified version of me, but it's
Right.
me, right? And that's one of the keys to our success here is that me talking to you right now, me talking to you if you're in the room, me talking to you through a video I make, it's me. I'd love to see more people take that approach because I am driven, really driven and passionate about helping people. And I want that to come through.
I need to dive in here. This is an important part. It's critical. Publishers don't unleash that, Lee,
No, I
nor
agree.
do PR agents. It
Right.
is you that unleashes that.
Right.
And that's one of the biggest things in my passion to have more authors do what you're doing is unleash themselves, because
Right.
we rely on publishers or agents to give us the thumbs up or the thumbs down or how's our book sales going to go. You've transformed how you know yourself in the world and the difference you make far beyond book now. And you illustrated that wonderfully with what you just said right now. So thank you for pointing to that. I didn't want that to go missed
Yeah.
because, I mean, look, that set you have behind you, that's not cheap. You didn't
No,
put that
I
up
built
after
it.
selling your first book.
No, it was a dream of mine. It's funny is, if you research me far enough, you'll see older sets and older primitive, startup points where I was learning to do this. This is just the current iteration. This will change again in the future too.
Yeah.
But we built up to this, and then we built this, and my whole team, we're all very proud of it. So thank you for that compliment. I also want to add too, something I've learned along the way. So I've been very engrossed in social media communities and building brand, if you will. And something I've realized, and your audience should probably hear this, is there is no way around you doing it, right? I think one of the major problems is, oh, well, can't somebody else run my social media? No, I've even tried that. It has to be you because nobody knows your mission, your business, your passion, whatever it is, more than you. And it's not something somebody else can do for you. So when, I feel like I've always been somewhat committed to that, but when I fully dove into that, making all the videos, posting all the videos, writing everything, podcasting, really changed the trajectory. I mean, suddenly everything went way up because you can't fake that. Right now, one more side effect, and again, sharing this with your audience, I'm a public speaker, I'm a host, I am a writer, I'm an author. I mean, I do all these things. Well, I podcast almost daily. I write daily. Like, all of the content that I create keeps me in a great flow state of being
Mm.
able to speak. That's how I'm able to jump on a Zoom like this and be in my flow state because I'm doing it all the time. right? And we tell professional athletes or young kids all the time when I'm coaching in my other life, right? If you want to be great or professional, you want to be a professional hockey player, you got to be professional taking your garbage out and cleaning your room and your schoolwork and making sure that you're
Right.
doing everything to the highest level all the time within reason. I mean, depends on your age,
That's
right?
part of your children's book membership.
Yeah, there you go. That's a way to sell that for sure. Right. I love that. But it's the truth, right? Like I realize that by broadcasting constantly, writing every day, which if you're a serious writer, you have to do,
Yeah.
right? Reading more. I mean, suddenly, like just like when I was a hockey player, guys, and I was very fortunate to play at a very, very high level. It was all the time. It was all the time. So it's just I'm living in this wonderful flow state all the time with all the things that I get to do. But I wanted to impress upon that, to your audience, it has to be you, right? Or your team, however, depending on what you're involved with. But if you're outsourcing, I'm not talking about master classes right now. I'm talking about the content creation. If you're outsourcing too much, how can it be authentic? Right? What I love about signature series or master classes is you. It's
Yeah.
you doing it,
That's
And
not
it can be
Chat
repurposed.
GPT.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole nother.
And
I have
I think
have
you can
thoughts on
get
that.
help with the mechanics, like
Absolutely.
anybody can post it for you or whatnot. But yeah,
Oh,
the
for sure.
content
Yeah.
is you.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
you.
Lisa, I should say, yes, I have a whole team of people. Like I don't do all of the posting,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I am all I make the videos. I do the copy. When it comes to Chat GPT, I'll tell you this, and this is my philosophy on it. You can use it one of two ways. You can use it to create stuff and take out, which I don't recommend, or you can put your own things in to enhance it. And
Yeah.
that I do recommend.
Yeah.
Right? That's where the value of Chat GPT is to me. Right? But if you have it write the book for you, which don't do that. Right?
No,
You
because
can
it's
put
not
your
going to be
book in.
you.
Yeah. It's not going to be you. It's better to put your stuff in and have it enhance it and then always check it. And again, I'm excited to see where that technology goes. Don't get me wrong. I'm not against it, but like it shouldn't be doing it for you in some aspects. Sorry, I'm talking a lot. You guys
Hey,
go.
It's not the end all be all, but I have to say, like, the more you talk, the more I can see, like I know what a portal did for me. It was like suddenly I had a place to put everything,
Right.
and it
Yeah.
wasn't like put it here, here, here. If you want it and you want me, come here. This is where everything is. This is where all the
lives.
action is happening on the inside. You want to see the behind the scenes, you want to see this, come here. This is where you're going to get it at.
Well,
100%.
Lisa,
Yeah.
on that, again, one of the things that I share is that we're in this world of certifications and letters after our names. So people go and get these certifications. Your own portal or your own membership gives yourself permission to be as you are, as you're going to deliver your promise, as you're going to deliver your process to others. You finally get your own place to be. And that's the thing that I think people don't get at the mindset level is memberships give you a place to be yourself. And Lee, you spoke to that beautifully. And Lisa, you just said that right now. I just wanted to make sure people got that.
It's like your playground, right? It is. You can just do whatever you want in there, and people are just happy because they are connected to you and they're learning from your expertise. And it's generally, even the higher dollar memberships are generally something that people can afford.
Right.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
so I think it's great. And then how it kind of, I want to throw this in if I may, like how it connects to like a signature program or a higher tier, something else that you're doing, whether that be your coaching. Your coaching should probably be like really top dollar up there, but you can customize a sidebar inside your member portal and upsell to the one-on-one coaching, to group coaching, to whatever else you're doing right inside there. And so it becomes an advertisement on its own because people are in there, they're with you, and they're like, oh my gosh, what would it be like to have a one-on-one session where, I could just map this
VIP day
out.
with Lee.
Yeah, and I could walk away with the answer to what I need, So I love the fact for cross-selling is what we call it, cross-selling inside your membership. I love that. Always like to build in a question box that goes across every page of your membership, so that no matter what they're viewing, if it's a video, they're having some type of, they're reading something, you know, whatever it is, every page has submit your question, you know, personalized question or whatnot.
Very
It comes
important.
to
Yeah.
you. You don't have to log in. It just comes to you via email and you can respond back. And then I often build what I call an answer vault. And because you're probably going to get that same question again. And so what I like to do to build that connection with an audience is to record little Loom videos. You can use Zoom if you wanted, whatever recording device you want, but I will often record a video for the answer to that. And then I will send that little video to the person, but then that goes into the answer vault, because the next 10 or 12, 15 people who ask me that question, now I have a link and I can send them that link or say, go to your answer vault. That is already in there. You can put them in alphabetical order or what, and you've got yourself something else that is catering to your members where they can get quick answers, you know. And the membership is really about, you know, getting there with your expertise faster and quicker than they would on their own, or even searching. I've seen memberships that contain the same information that you could find online, but people will pay for it because number one, they want you. And then number two, they want one place that they can go to find everything that they need. They get tired of internet searching, you know.
That's perfect, Lisa. Let me, because we've hit the top of the hour and I want to be mindful. Lee, I don't know, you're a popular guy and you might have something that's knocking on your door. Do we got you for 5 more minutes?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for you.
Okay,
sure.
Great.
Yeah.
And Lisa, Lee is one of the ones who's developed a really great website. Lee, shout out to you and your web developer. It is a great website. You've got all your services there. You talk about all your books. And I do see that opportunity to just start speculating, right? Like now you got connection to both of us. I would be remiss if we didn't give a shout out to Marnie Stockman, who connected us through.
Hey, I'll do the same thing with you. There
you go. Look at this,
right there on my desk. I was just talking to her today. Lovely people, her and Nick.
Right on. So, and she's going to be my guest Thursday. She'll be on, and we're going to be talking about the author journey with her and Nick, and some of those other aspects. The last thing, and this goes for both of you, Lee, inside of the program that Lisa and I work through, process is our number one effort. So I'm going to share with you what I created inside the Author Launchpad. I'm sharing it with everybody. Is what does your roadmap, Lee, look like when you're working with people? And it's using the power of threes, right? 3 little pigs, 3 blind mice, 3 musketeers, the Trinity. So for me, I say, what is Lee packaging? Who is he marketing it to? And how is he monetizing it? And this is part of the process I take for every author. Lisa has her version of her 3 phases. So I'm going to let Lisa go next, and then you'll be last, because I'd love to hear, yeah, my 3 phases are this. And these are some of the core steps of my phases, because the authors that are watching this now that are afraid to go beyond book sales, or they haven't seen how to connect the dots, this is how we get to contribute to them. So for me, it's package, market, monetize. That's what I look for in helping them create their signature programs, and starting with a workshop. Because like you said, it goes from information to implementation to iterations that we start to integrate. We're not viral overnight. Lisa, what are your 3 phases that you bring your clients through?
Well, for the membership build, it's plan, create, and launch. So it's very simple. We go through a process of planning everything. Everything is just detailed out of what we need. And then we take that information off the planner. We go to creating it, and then we launch it with usually a founding member launch, just to your audience to, you know, just get going. And we give them a great price. We know that they're going to get more benefit than they pay for in the beginning, but you get your foundational members in, and then you start increasing that price. And then the people who are in at the founding member price are not really going anywhere because they've got a great price. The next one is still a great price. And then you just keep moving until you get it up to the level that, you know, that you want it to be. And know that that's not the end, because you're going to cross sell, you're going to do your signature programs, you're going to have your higher tier coaching and things like that. So we try to keep it really, really simple though.
Plan, create, sell.
Launch.
Thank you.
Sell.
Plan, create, launch. Thank you, Lisa. Excellent. That was perfect. Like, and that's what people need to hear. Like, show me the how-to. All right, Lee, what does yours look like?
Well, first thing I'm going to say this to all the authors listening. If you have the passion and you took the time to write a book, you can do what we're talking about. All right. Because you don't write a book if you don't have the passion. It's just not possible. I as someone who, again, who has written multiple books and understands that process, there's a dedication level there that is not normal. Right. So I want to instill that confidence in everybody listening first, that if you did that, you can do this, whichever version of us talking this is, you can do it. All right. Because you wrote the book. For me, again, it's all about trust, right? Everything I do is based on trust. So my kind of first process for me is communication, right? And broadcasting. So I wouldn't say it's like a low hanging fruit. It's more of a genuine look. I'm out there. I am sharing as much information as I can for free in the sense of social media, broadcasting, because I'm passionate about it and I love to do it, right? And that garners trust. And that would bring me to my next level, which is typically, hey, how about having me come in and speak to your group? All right. Maybe you're not ready for that full-time annual contract yet. Maybe you're not sure. Let's come in for a day. Because like my belief, and I freely say this, I can get almost any group together today for a day. I can get any group to work together for a day. They could really not like each other. It's not hard to get a group to work together for a day. Getting someone to do that for 6 months, that's hard. That's where the work comes in. So my next step is usually, let me come in and speak. I speak, and as I said earlier, sometimes that leads to an annual contract of monthly tap-ins or more, in terms of making sure that I'm going back. And then, as you said, people speak, they go back and forth, and the business grows. Now, I'm going to say this too, based on what both of you have just showed me. There's so much room for expansion within my business, within that realm, that I'm excited about doing, right? But where the book fits in, again, the book was the birth of the philosophy on page, but now it's something I bring with me. As, hey, listen, this is the book, right? And here's a quick tip too. You know, when I go in to speak, I always offer about a week before, hey, I'm happy to bring copies of my book with me for this price, right? And you can hand it to all of your members. And there's another cross-pollination of now you're leaving with something, right? But you know, again, I'm sorry, it's not like tiered out 1, 2, 3. But that's my process. Is there's a lot of free daily content that I put out, which usually leads to me being a speaker, which usually leads to me being a contracted someone to come in to help them build the team.
Awesome. So great. So we got roughly, it's that content for trust. It's let's VIP day, let's test it, and done well, that creates the long-term relationship.
Right. And I love everything that you showed on the screen there a few minutes ago, Chris. I guess everything in there makes a lot of sense, right? You have to be able to sell it in a way that's going to make people build that trust, right? Look, if I was going to do 3, it'd be trust, trust, trust. I mean that, right? Because if you don't have that, you're not going to go too far, right? And again, the authenticity is so important, right? If people feel you're just trying to sell them, they're going to treat you like someone who's just trying to sell them. Like if you truly, and again, if you wrote a book, you have what I'm about to say. So I'm not guessing, right? If you truly believe in what you wrote, which you do, share that. It's infectious.
It is.
Right? It's infectious. So you have to be able to understand that the selling of that, this is the last thing I'll say. This is just quick advice. I'm so glad I got this advice about 15 years ago. I used to be a little shy with my selling. And someone said to me, look, everyone's selling something. Everyone. No matter who you are or what you do, whatever your job is, you're selling something, right? It's just how you do it. And that really refocused me in my approach of, no, I believe in this. I'm proud to be selling, quote unquote, this, right? Completely changed my perception of how I approach it.
Lee Elias, I can't thank you enough for accepting the invitation to hop in knowing I had to bump you from the spotlight today.
I'm not sure you did. I talked so much
I don't
today.
know. It's rare I meet someone as passionate and gets as lit up as me, and we're both coaches, so I see it start to come out like this.
Right.
And I'm watching Lisa go, these guys would be perfect for their own little memberships. I could see exactly how they're going to grow. And that's the genius, is where someone could take the mindsets and the models that we have, and Lisa goes, I've got the mechanics and I've got the
Right.
machinery to help you monetize.
Well, and that's where collaborative work
I
and
love
communication played in. Now, Lisa, I am apologetic. I did not tell you it was Maroon Shirt Day, apparently.
I know. I was
And I'm
just
sorry
thinking
about
that a
that.
few minutes ago. I didn't get the memo.
Yeah, it's my
I'm
I
out of
should
the
have
loop
taken this
there.
off. I feel bad about it now. But no, guys, it's my pleasure. I appreciate you even let me speak as much as I did, really. Chris, especially you. But no, it was my pleasure to meet both of you and be on here.
Yeah, right on. Leah, I will be posting this, so I'll make sure that this gets posted on LinkedIn as well. I will tag you. You and I will roll with one of our own. I'm going to unspotlight you for just 1 second so I can bring Lisa center. Lisa Carroll, do you see what you cause when you tell people there's an opportunity for them to be who they are and shine themselves inside of their own memberships, their groups, their own platforms?
I love it. It's what it's all about, just that connecting point and relationships and delivering your genius, the thing that you are meant to bring to the world, just getting it out there.
Yeah, I love it. Lisa, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it. And for all three of you, I'm Chris Trammell. I'm the creator, developer, and head coach of the Author Launchpad. Today, I had two guests, one plus, it became two guests, Lee Elias and Lisa Carroll. If there's anything that you were inspired by, you want more of, please reach out to me, reach out to Lisa, reach out to Lee. You heard that collaboration is what makes a difference. Build that community where you get to lock arms and grow. Tomorrow, right here, 12 p.m. noon, we got Rafael Andonian, who is our celebrity historian. He's got an awesome story about how he uses media, travels from coast to coast. He's talked at Oxford and Open NASDAQ as well. And then, like I mentioned to you, Lee, on Thursday, we've got Marty Stockman and Nick Paniglio. And then on Friday, it's how to create intimate memberships, creating your own personal groups from what you coach best. So with that being said, thank you all. Thank you, everybody listening, Facebook, LinkedIn, reach out to us. We want you to have a great 2024 and make a difference out in the world. With that being said, bye from all of us. And stop.